Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatha Parakamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishkam Vitam Cha Om Ajnana Timirandasya Ganajana Shalakaya Chakshurum Idam Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namah Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. This is Adi-lila, chapter 15, the Lord's Pauganda-lila. Kumana su manastvam hi yati yasha parambojaya. Kumana su manastvam hi yati yasha param jayo sumanor pana matrena tam chaitanya prabhum bhaje. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, because simply by offering a flower at his lotus feet, even the most ardent materialist becomes a devotee. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Lord Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Advaita Acharya, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Pauganda-lila Sutra Koraye Ganan, Pauganda Vayase Prabhuvar, Mukhya Adhyayad. Let me now enumerate the activities of the Lord between the ages of 5 and 10. His chief occupation during this period was to engage himself in study. Pauganda-lila Chaitanya Krishna Shyati Suvistrita Vidyaramba Mukapani Grahananta Manohara. The pastimes of the Lord during his Pauganda age were very extensive. His education was his chief occupation, and after that his very beautiful marriage took place. Gangadas Pandit Stane Bharana Vyakaran Shravana Matre Kante Koila Sutra Britigan. When the Lord was studying grammar at the place of Gangadas Pandit, he would immediately learn grammatical rules and definitions by heart simply by hearing them once. Srila Bhaktivedanta says that the Lord was given lessons by a teacher named Vishnu and another teacher named Sudarshan. Later on, when he was a little grown up, he was under the care of Gangadas Pandit, who taught him grammar of a higher standard. Anyone serious about studying the Sanskrit language should first learn grammar. It is said that simply to finish studying Sanskrit grammar takes at least 12 years, but once one learns the grammatical rules and regulations very nicely, all other scriptures or subject matters in Sanskrit are extremely easy to understand, for Sanskrit grammar is the gateway to education. Alpakale hoila panji tikate pravin Chirakaler Paduya Jine Hoya Nabin. He soon became so expert in commenting on the Panjitika that he could win victory over all the other students, although he was a neophyte. Srila Bhaktivedanta says there was a commentary on grammar named Panjitika that was later explained very lucidly by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Adi-lila Prabhur Dasha Vrindavan Chaitanya Mangale Koila Vistari Varnan. In his book Chaitanya Mangal, which later became the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur has very elaborately described the Lord's pastimes of study. Egdin matarapare korea pranam Prabhu ko he mata more deho egdan. One day Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fell down at the feet of his mother and requested her to give him one thing in charity. Mata bole thai diba ja tumi magibe Prabhu ko he ekadashite anana kaibe. His mother replied, "My dear son, I will give you whatever you ask." Then the Lord said, "My dear mother, please do not eat grains on the Ekadasi day." From the very beginning of his childhood life, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced a system of observing a fast on the Ekadasi day. In the Bhakti Sandarbha by Srila Jiva Goswami, there is a quotation from the Skanda Purana admonishing that a person who eats grains on Ekadasi becomes a murderer of his mother, father, brother, and spiritual master. And even if he's elevated to a Vaikuntha planet, he falls down. On Ekadasi, everything is cooked for Vishnu, including regular grains and dal, but it is enjoined that a Vaishnava should not even take Vishnu Prasadam on Ekadasi. It is said that a Vaishnava does not accept anything eatable that is not offered to Lord Vishnu, but on Ekadasi, a Vaishnava should not touch even Mahaprasadam offered to Vishnu, although such prasadam may be kept for being eaten the next day. It is strictly forbidden for one to accept any kind of grains on Ekadasi, even if it is offered to Lord Vishnu. Sachi kohe na kaiba, balo I kohila, se hoite ekadashi, korite lagila. Mother Sachi said, "You have spoken very nicely. I shall not eat grains on Ekadasi." From that day, she began to observe fasting on Ekadasi. It is a prejudice among smarta Brahmins that a widow must observe fasting on Ekadasi, but a woman who is Sudaba, who has her husband, should not. It appears that before Lord Chaitanya's request, Sachimata, being a Sudaba, was not observing Ekadasi. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, however, introduced a system that a woman, even if not a widow, must observe the Ekadasi day and must not touch any kind of grains, even those offered to the deity of Vishnu. Tabe Mishra Visvarup Dekiya Jovana Kanya Chahe Vivahadite Korilena Mana. Thereafter, seeing that Visvarup was a grown-up youth, Jagannath Mishra wanted to find a girl and arrange a marriage ceremony for him. Visvarup Shunigara Chadi Palaila Sannyas Koriyatirta Koribarigela. Hearing of this, Visvarup immediately left home and went away to accept sannyas and travel from one place of pilgrimage to another. Shuni Sachi Mishra Duke Hoilaman Tabe Prabhu Mata Pitara Koila Ashvasan. When Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra heard of the departure of their elder son, Visvarup, they were very unhappy, but Lord Chaitanya tried to console them. Balo hoila Visvarup Sanyas Korila Pitrikula Matrikula Dui Udarila. My dear mother and father, the Lord said, it is very good that Visvarup has accepted the sannyas order, for thus he has delivered both his father's family and his mother's family. It is sometimes said that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disapproved of the acceptance of the sannyas order in this Kali Yuga, because in the Shastra it is said, Ashramedam Gavalambam Sannyasam Bala Pitrikam Devarena Sutotpatim Kalo Pancha Vivarjayet. In this age of Kali, 5 acts are forbidden: the offering of a horse in sacrifice, the offering of a cow in sacrifice, the acceptance of the order of sannyas, the offering of oblations of fish to the offering of oblations of flesh to the forefathers, and a man's begetting children in his brother's wife. I saw that sometimes they would do that, and in families that were very poor, especially where, I forget the name of the village where the Gita press is. They would send, people would go to Thailand to earn money. They usually become chokidars, guards at factories and stuff, and they'd send money back to their farm because they couldn't afford to pay the payments on the farm. And then one brother would stay in Thailand his whole life and send money there. That would be his life. Some often become a drunkard, but still earn money. And his brother would beget children and his wife. But yeah, it was a very austere life for them. Nevertheless, we see that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself accepted sannyas and approved of the sannyas of his elder brother Visvarup. It is clearly said here, Balo hoila Visvarup sannyas korila pitri kula matri kula dui udarila. Therefore, should it be thought that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made statements that are contradictory? No, actually he did not. It is recommended that one accept sannyas to dedicate his life for the service of the Lord, and everyone must take that kind of sannyas. For by accepting such sannyas, one renders the best service to both his paternal and maternal families. But one should not accept sannyas, the sannyas order of the Mayavad school, which has practically no meaning. We find many Mayavadi sannyasis simply loitering in the street, thinking themselves Brahman or Narayan, and spending all day and night begging so they can fill their hungry bellies. Thinking they're Brahman or Narayan and loitering in the street. Mayavadi sannyasis have become so degraded that there is a section of them who eat everything just like hogs and dogs. It is such degraded sannyas that is prohibited in this age. Actually, Srila Shankaracharya's principles for the acceptance of sannyas were very strict, but later the so-called Mayavadi sannyasis became degraded because of their false philosophy, which propounds that by accepting sannyas one becomes Narayan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected that kind of sannyas, but the acceptance of sannyas is one of the items of the Varnashram Dharma. How then can it be rejected? So what's rejected is what's called karma sannyas, just mechanical sannyas. Amita koriba toma duhara sevan shunya santushtoila pitri mataraman. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu assured his parents that he would serve them, and thus the minds of his father and mother were satisfied. Egdin Naivedya Tambula Kaya Bhumete Parila Prabhu Acheta. One day Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ate betel nuts offered to the deity, but they acted as an intoxicant, and he fell down on the ground unconscious. Aste bhyaste pitamata mukhe dilapani shushta hoya kohe prabhu apurva kohini. After his father and mother sprinkled water on his mouth, with great haste the Lord revived and said something wonderful they had never heard before. Eta hoite Visvarupa mora layagela sannyas koraha tumi amare kahila. The Lord said, Visvarupa took me away from here, and he requested me to accept the sannyas order. Amiko he amara anata pita mata ami balak sannyasara kiba jani kata. I replied to Visvarup, I have my helpless father and mother, and also I am but a child. What do I know about the sannyas order of life? Rihasto hoya koriba pita matar sevan ihate eat tushtahaben lakmi narayan. Later I shall become a householder and thus serve my parents. For this action will very much satisfy Lord Narayan and his wife, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi. Tabe Visvarup ihan pataila more matake kahiya koti namaskare. Thus then Visvarup returned me home and requested, offer thousands and thousands of obeisances unto my mother Sachi Devi. E matanana lila kore gorahari ki karane lila iha bujite napari. In this way, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed various pastimes, but why he did so I cannot understand. Katadina rohe Mishra gela paralok mata putra duhara barila ridi shok. After some days, Jagannath Mishra passed away from this world to the transcendental world, and both mother and son were very much aggrieved in their hearts. Bandhu bandhavashi dukkha prabodhila pitri kriya vidimate ishwara korila. Friends and relatives came there to pacify Lord Chaitanya and his mother. Then Lord Chaitanya, even though he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, executed the rituals for his dead father according to the Vedic system. Katadine Prabhu Chite Korila Chintan Grihasta Hoilama Ebe Chahe Griha Dharma. After some days the Lord thought, I did not accept sannyas, and since I am remaining at home, it is my duty to act as a grihasta. Grihini vina griha dharma na hoy shodan eta chinti vivaha korite hoilaman. Without a wife, Lord Chaitanya considered, there is no meaning to householder life. Thus the Lord decided to marry. Na griham iti ahur grihini griham uchate taya sahita sarvan purushartan samashnute. Merely a house is not a home, for it is wife who gives a home its meaning. If one lives at home with his wife, together they can fulfill all the interests of human life. Daivi ek din prabhu padiya asite valabhacharjer kanya deke gangapate. One day when the Lord was coming back from school, he accidentally saw the daughter of Vallabhacharya on the way to the Ganges. Purvasiddha bhava duhar udaya korila daive vanamale gatak sachistani aila. When the Lord and Lakshmi Devi met, their relationship awakened, having already been settled, and coincidentally the marriage maker Vanamali came to see Sachi Mata. Sachira ingite sambandha korila gatan lakmike bibaha koila sachira nandan. Following the indications of Sachi Devi, Vanamali Gataka arranged the marriage, and thus in due course the Lord married Lakshmi Devi. Vistariya Varnila Taha Vrindavanadas Eta Pauganda-lila Sutra Prakash. Vrindavan Thakur has elaborately described all these pastimes of the Lord's early age. What I have given is but a condensed presentation of the same pastimes. Pauganda-lila Bahuta Prakar Vrindavanadash Iha Korijachan Bistar. The Lord performed many varieties of pastimes in his early age, and Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur has described them elaborately. Ateva Din Matra Ihande Kaila Chaitanya Mangale Sarva Loke Kyata Hoila. I have given but a single hint of these pastimes, for Vrindavan Das Thakur in his book Chaitanya Mangal, now Chaitanya Bhagavat, has described them all vividly. Shri Rupa Raghunath Parijara As Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishnadas. Praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I Krishnadas narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita following in their footsteps. Thus sang the Bhaktivedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi-lila, 15th chapter, describing the Lord's Pauganda-lila. So we're going to stop here. This chapter is short. And tomorrow we'll do chapter 16. So short today, tomorrow long. Okay, let's see.
What is short? Do today what is long, save for tomorrow.
Well,
This is a nice schedule.
yeah, I like that. This chapter was only about 35 verses.
Jagannath can go have a nap. You look tired.
Maybe. Rest, Seva.
Vishram, Seva.
What's it called?
Vishram.
Vishram.
Vishram, rest.
Okay. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Manana Mohan Giridhari Gopinatha Manana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Janardan Shiva Sari Gora Bhakta Vrinda Janardan Shiva Sari Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Jai Rupa Sanatan Raghunath Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Saranguna Echai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Echai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jao Ite Vignana Shamishta Puran Jao Ite Vignana Shamishta Puran Echai Gosai Jarmui Taradas Echai Gosai Jarmui Taradas Tasavar Padarenu Mora Panchagras Tasavar Renu Mora Panchagras Kader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas Kader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas Janame More Ambilas Janame More Ambilas Echai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas Echai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Kolila Prakash Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Kolila Prakash Anande bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Anande bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Bhare Majai Aman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Bhare Majai Aman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas. Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Koriyas. Hare Nam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamudas. Hare Nam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamudas. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Okay. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Jiv Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmamachari Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivedanta Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga Ki Jai. Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Ragana, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Ragana, Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Premsi Go Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi, Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Bhagwat Ki Jai, Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Vishvavarenya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Kushamashra Maharaj ki jai, Srila Bhakti Tilak Neraya Maharaj ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Sri Navadip Dham ki jai, Sri Ram Mayapur ki jai, Saparshada Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Saparshada Sriman Mahaprabhu ki jai, Sri Koladvip ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai, Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram ki jai, Ganga Devi ki jai, Tulasi Maharani ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Sri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Goa Gopi Govardhan Sham Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Ju ki jai, Sri Purushottam Madam ki jai, Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Ju ki jai, Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Sri Nishingadev ki jai, Bhakta Prabhara Sri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Sri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Sri Vishaka Devi Dasi ki jai, all the assembled devotees ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
So Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.